Hello everybody, I hope you're having a great day. Well, I'm making spicy chicken enchiladas for two today, but before we get to that, people are always asking me about those little cups that I use to hold the spices. They come from a tea set. This is my granddaughter's tea set, and they're just the perfect size, so that's what I use. Anyway, if you want to make this recipe with a store-bought taco seasoning, you can do that. It'll work just fine. But I'm going to go ahead and mix up taco seasoning, and all the ingredients and the amounts will be listed in the description box. It starts with chili powder and then cumin, and after that paprika. The paprika didn't want to go in, so we'll give it a little tap. There we go. And salt. This is kosher salt. Next is garlic powder, and then onion powder, and dried oregano, and then finally black pepper. Just like that. Now all you have to do is stir it up, shake it up. That's what we'll do. Put the lid on this, and give it a good shake. And there you go, homemade taco seasoning. Just right. Okay, on with the enchiladas. We want to get some heat under a pan. We want to get that warmed up. Now you can use canned chicken for this if you want to. That's about a 12-ounce can. But I happen to have some leftover chicken. This is fully cooked, and I'm going to go ahead and use it. But it works the same either way. And then we want to dice an onion. And I think for this recipe, half of this onion will be plenty, so I'll go ahead and dice that up. And now the pan is nice and warm, and so we're going to put a tablespoon of butter and get it melted. Swirl that around a little, cover the bottom of the pan. And in with the onions. And a little pepper and salt. Boy, these onions smell good already in this butter. We'll give them a little toss, get them coated, and let them cook. We want to get them translucent. And this is where all the heat comes from. Chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. It's delicious, but it's very, very spicy, and if you don't like spicy, just leave this out. Now we'll put these peppers in this bowl because we need to cut them up, get them in smaller pieces, little bite-sized pieces. Once again, this dish is wonderful without the peppers. If you don't like yours spicy, then you won't be using this, but if you really would like to try it the way I like it, try it with those peppers in adobo sauce. So we'll add the chicken in now. The onions are translucent, and now we're going to put in some of that homemade taco seasoning, about 1 tablespoon. And if you're not going to use the peppers, you'd want to use more of the taco seasoning. And then about a half to 3/4 of a cup of water, and the peppers and all of that delicious sauce. Just put it right in. Okay. And then we have cream of chicken soup. And I'm going to use 1/3 a can, 1/3 of this can of the cream of chicken soup. And we'll mix that all together and get this all stirred up. Just like that, and then get out a little saucepan, and we're going to put the rest of that soup, or the 2/3 of a can, into the saucepan. And instead of adding the cup of milk directly into the pot, let's put it in the can so we can stir it up and get a little bit more of that soup out of the can. So we'll give this a stir, and this is regular whole milk, and then into the saucepan. Okay, so we've got condensed soup, milk, and now some of that homemade taco seasoning, and we'll put about a tablespoon in. Great flavor. Now we want to put this on the heat and let it get nice and warm. We want to bring it to a simmer. Give it a quick stir. Now the chicken, you want to let it simmer until the liquid evaporates. You can see the liquid. There's not a lot, but we want to simmer that away and let those flavors just absorb. Now see, there's no liquid running. So this is just right. It's still nice and moist, but there's no running liquid. So I'll go ahead and turn the heat off. Let me move this out of the way and we'll set the chicken over here so we can work with another pan. So you want another small pan, and in that we're going to add about 1/2 inch of cooking oil, because we're going to put the tortillas into the cooking oil to get them nice and soft. And we're going to use corn tortillas. So we'll get the heat going under this oil. Give this sauce a stir. Everything's looking just right. That's just the way I want it. All right, turn that heat off and we'll let that sit. Well, before we put the tortillas in the oil, let's go ahead and put a little sauce down in the bake dish. Doesn't take a lot, just a little in the middle. I don't want them to stick. Just like that. Now we want to check and make sure the oil is hot enough, and it should bubble. That's just right. We'll put this in, and it doesn't take long. Really, by the time you can turn it over, it's ready to come out. This one's giving me a little trouble, so it's in longer than it needs to be, but this will be fine. Just let that oil drain off, about like that. And then we'll put it over here on this little cutting board. Now it's time to add the chicken, the filling. Just put a little right in the middle like that. So good. This is going to be so delicious. Chicken enchiladas for 2. And then you roll it up and put it in the baking dish. And there's one. Just like that. And you want to do seam side down, of course. Let me show you one more and I'll speed it up. It's the same process. Flip it over, let it drain. In with the filling. Roll it up in the dish. And so I was able to make 8 enchiladas. Okay, now for the sauce. And we'll just pour this sauce over them. It's kind of thickened up because it's cooled off. Just spread it out as even as you can out of the pot, and then we'll give it another spread. And finally, cheese. And this is entirely up to you how much you put. Of course, I really like cheese, so I'm going to be very generous. Now I have the oven preheated to 375 degrees, and this is going to go in the oven as soon as we get all this cheese on. What do you think? Does that look about right? Okay, into the oven. 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. Really, you just want the cheese to get good and melted, everything get nice and hot. And there you have it, chicken enchiladas for 2, bubbly and cheesy. Let's have a taste. Look at that. Once again, if you don't want a really spicy enchilada, just leave those peppers out and use the taco seasoning. But we really like it spicy, and so this is how I like to make it. Okay, now it's time for a taste. Spicy chicken enchiladas for 2. I hope you give it a try. It's really good. Hey, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye now.